Today I'm fortunate enough to be test riding the SWM650, so hang around and we'll see what it's like. So SWM is a fairly new brand and not particularly common here in Australia. So I'm feeling pretty privileged to be able to have the opportunity to ride this. So very big thanks to my mate Piotr for lending me his bike for this test ride. This is the SWM Superdual 650. It is a single cylinder, fuel injected 650cc dual sport motorcycle. As far as pricing goes, it's one of the sort of mid-range motorcycles. It's for the budget conscious rider, and my mate Piotr bought this bike specifically to travel from Nepal all the way to London, and it made it, from what I can gather, with relative ease and fairly trouble-free riding. From an aesthetics point of view, the SWM650, it looks the part. It's not the greatest looking bike, but it's also not the worst. It looks fairly simple in its design, and that's because it is. It's a bike that's been made for the budget conscious rider, and so therefore you can expect that its components are not going to be, you know, top of the line. Although it does have Brembo brakes, and the motor is actually a Husqvarna motor, so fairly good quality in that. And like I say, he travelled on this from Nepal all the way to London, so that's got to say something for the quality of the machine. As I sit on the bike, the first thing I notice is that the seat is quite hard, which doesn't really bode well for long distance travel, and I've heard a couple of people say that the seat on this is not particularly great. I also notice when I try to start the bike, the key is way down in there, which when you've got your gloves on is really a little bit tricky. I'm sure it's something you get used to and it's a minor detail, but I did notice that immediately. The seating position in this is really quite strange. It feels like I'm a little bit too close to the front wheel or something. My immediate thought when I hop on the bike is that I'm on almost like a bit of a toy or something. It's a bit odd. There's certainly no lack of power. I'm not sure if you could tell through the camera, but the suspension definitely feels a bit stiff. It could be a bit more plush, but he may have that set for carrying extra weight while he travels. The braking on it is fantastic, really, really good. Those Brembo brakes certainly perform really, really well. The 650 single cylinder has plenty of power, certainly not wanting in that regard, but it just doesn't quite feel comfortable enough for long haul journeys. I'm not sure that it's something that I would want to ride quite as far as Piotr has ridden it from Nepal to London. Well done. All right, let's go and find some dirt. bike also has ABS, which is a great addition for a bike at this price. Not so good when you forget that it's there and you try to do a slide turn. It has a low centre of gravity, which is nice for the balance of the bike, and that's one of Piot's favourite things about it. However, the standing position is really odd. You're a little bit too close to the bars, and also when you stand, this presses against your leg, and it's really uncomfortable. And I imagine I'm not actually wearing my riding boots right now. I've left them at the camp. So when you've got your riding boots on, that hard texture of the boots is going to push your leg out a little bit further, and yeah, no, I'm not a fan of that. Certainly had plenty of power, and I really like the brakes. I think the brakes are fantastic. My favourite part of this bike is the performance of the brakes. They've been fantastic. It's got 6 gears, which is quite nice, although I did notice when I was on the bitumen that even with those 6 gears, sitting on 100 k's an hour, you're still doing the same amount of revs as I'm doing on my KLR, which has only got 5 gears, so it doesn't really make that much difference. I'm pretty sure he hasn't messed with the gearing or anything like that. I'd say it's still standard. So yeah, that's interesting. 6 gears, but it's still doing the same revs and about the same sort of comfort level as far as the motor is concerned at 100 k's an hour on a straight road. All in all, it's an okay bike. It's not your forever bike, that's for sure. It's just a bike to sort of maybe learn on and do some travels. I certainly wouldn't be picking this bike as the bike I was going to take from Nepal to London. That wouldn't have been my choice. But it made it, and you know, he's done quite a lot of other journeys since he's been back. I do know that he's had quite a lot of problems with it since he got back. He's just recently replaced the clutch, and no end of other things that have gone wrong with it. I can't give you a list, I'm sorry, but I know that he has had mechanical problems with this, and it's not that old a bike. So, the SWM Superdual 650 from Italy. It's okay, but it's not for me. Thanks again to Piot for letting me ride your bike. Cheers, man. I hope you enjoyed the video and my thoughts on the bike. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks very much. See you next time on EscapeArtist. Bye for now.